so hard to understand how to let go of your hand, to let you fly new found wings to that land where angels sing. Your work is done, you've been set free. So rest in peace, rest in peace.
A stillness settled over the capital. The morning air carried the sound of muffled drums, the rustle of national flags at half-mast, and the quiet footsteps of a nation in mourning. From every corner of Ghana, people came, ordinary citizens and statesmen alike, drawn to one place, one purpose, to bid a final farewell to 8 illustrious sons of the land whose lives were cut short in the tragic military helicopter crash on Wednesday, August 6, near Obuasi. They came to mourn the beloved Dr. Edward Omani Boama, Minister of Defense, Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, and Alhaji Muniru Mohammed, Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator, Dr. Samuel Sapon, Vice Chairman, NDC, Mr. Samuel Abuaji, Deputy Director General, NADMO, Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala, Pilot, Flying Officer Manian Chum Ampedu, Co-Pilot, and Sergeant Ernest Ado, Flight Engineer. On this day, sorrow knew no political callous, no social divide, only the unity of a people gathered under the shadow of loss, determined to remember and to honor. From President John Dramani Mahama, Vice President Nana Opoku-Agyemang, to former President John Ajokun Kufuor and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, government officials, political leaders, institutional heads, and dignitaries, the entire nation paused, bound together in grief. Political lines faded. What mattered was a nation's shared sorrow and the duty to pay fitting tribute to men who gave their last measure of devotion in service to Ghana. The loss has been felt deeply. For friends, colleagues, and families, it was personal. Memories once shared now turn into treasure keepsakes, and an emptiness no words could fill.
I know Dr. Manembwama closely as in the media field for many years, and the sad thing for me was that just about a week before the crash that led to his death, we met at the Chinese ambassador's residence for an evening program, and I hadn't seen him for like 10, 15 years. Like, we hadn't met for quite some time, but he saw me and he called out to me. Hey, bro, long time. And I was like, yeah, Minister, I've been meaning to come and visit you. And then we hugged, and he said I should come by, to his office and let's have a chat. And I promised to do so. That was Wednesday, exactly a week before the unfortunate, tragic death. And it was a blow. Dr. Muntala, same. We've known them in the circles of media and political coverage and all that. Dr. Samuel Sapon, same thing, as a regional minister for Ashanti some years ago. The others that I don't know personally, but the fact that these are persons who serve the country, and in that capacity, the pain is there. Just listening to the tributes this morning, even further broke me, especially the widow of the gentleman who got married about a month ago, and her narration, the fact that the gentleman was a good Christian and always prayed with the family and all that. I couldn't hold back the tears. It's a terrible thing. It's terrible. You can't describe it in any way. You can't fathom how it happened, how we're going to deal with it in the next months and years to come, because these guys were in their prime and serving the nation. And I mean, it's horrible.
Dr. Samuel Sapon was my father. I remember very well that in 2016, when he stood for MP in the Ishiaso constituency, I was one of the campaign coordinator. We did a marvelous work for him, and I will never forget about him. He's a very good man. He's a very, very good man. It's quite unfortunate. And one thing that the Ishiaso and the Kumasi as a whole, or Ashanti region as a whole, who used to remember him all the time, is that he always opened his doors for anyone, whether you are an MPP man or you are NDC man, whoever, whatever your political party, he's the man that he welcomes everyone.
As a media practitioner, I have encountered them by interviewing them. I've interviewed Omani Buama and Mutala. And beyond that, I'm a former student leader. And I remember in 2003, I attended Omani Buama's inauguration as NUC's president. I also remember in 2004, in Sunyani, when we were electing Ablakwa, Okujeto Ablakwa as NUC's president. Omani Buama was there. I was a delegate to flip all of us into line to elect Okujeto Ablakwa as NUC's president. And so I've had a personal relationship with the two. When you talk of Mutala too, Mutala became ASU president, All African Students Union president. And so as student leaders, we were meeting at programs. And so for me, this cuts so deep because I am so closer to Omani Buama and Mutala.
Omani Buama was the medical doctor of my son. Mutala, I taught him, I supervised his PhD thesis. I was the lead supervisor, and he produced one of the best dissertations in my department. And the rest, Samuel Sapon and all that, we've had personal relations with them. It's very painful, but I'm saying that the pain that we have gone through as a people should not go waste.
Manibuama, Dr. Manibuama especially, and it was just about 4 weeks ago when the London mayor was in town. There was a reception, there was an initiative that was launched at the British High Commissioner's residence. And so I was there and he was there as well. And at the time he was leaving, I approached him in his vehicle to engage him, you know. And so that was the last time I encountered him.
Especially Dr. Manibuama, with whom I contested in 2002 for the NUC's presidency. I was together with him. Then the late lawyer John Kuma of the NPP and Mr. Bernard Mona. The four of us contested for the presidency of NUCS, and Dr. Mani won, followed by Dr. Lawyer John Kuma, myself, and then Bernard Mona. So we've known ourselves since our days as student leaders, and the death has been a devastating blow to me, and I felt I needed to come and pay my last respects to him.
Others spoke of the lessons such tragedy must teach, a renewed commitment to unity, service, and the higher ideals of national purpose.
I will speak from a position of pain because I do know that they were going to do something that had to do with the fight against Gallant. I feel their deaths should not be in vain. It's a good moment for all of us to say that enough is enough.
Dedicano, Ayara Hosem, Owo de Ubia Bewu, Nanso so, Sa Uwo we ya, Ara Hosem ye. Yane Omampani, John Dramani Mahama, Beya during this time. So, Castle Mining in Ano and Kamomono. The unity of the nation is paramount at this stage. Say, you know, I bet my care and what bomb near Timidia and Kaidu. Yes, Anna Omampani so I say, I ran ma, and near Busuan so. Sa ye hero see, or more or more corner, or the photo be better to Hodiama, measuring some of my money in Ano.
Obia no so because the S in a bit matu obia. And you know it's above the politics. And you know obi biara kakra Ghana for a year the quite year born so we should do that na Maya no so and no so fie bebre we need them.
To the corridors of power went heartfelt appeals to transform grief into resolve, renewing the fight against illegal mining, a continuing threat to Ghana's environment and safety.
We should use this tragedy to rally the nation together to deal with this menace of Galamsey. We should just rally the entire nation together to deal with it, because if we are unable to use this opportunity to do that, we probably may never ever have the opportunity to fight Galamsey, because Galamsey, as you may have realized, is deep-rooted. You know, and the kingpins who are involved in this, they are influential. They are really powerful. Beyond all of that, we should also appreciate that gold has a certain allure that draws people. So that is why you hear these illegal mines dying all the time. But they still don't stop, because gold in itself has a certain allure. So the fight is not flesh and blood and even spiritual. It's a whole lot more. Yeah.
If there is a day that there will be national resolve to confront the existential threat posed by Galamsey, it is from now. It is from today. And I don't think that there is anybody now who will be able to stand in the way of this government if it truly wants to make use of the national mood and the national pain as a platform to catapult it into fashioning out other more stringent interventions aimed at overcoming, the existential threat of illegal mining.
There were also appeals to immortalize the fallen through monuments, memorials, and institutions that will bear their names for generations to come.
There should be that constant reference, and they should stay in our memory. We should have monuments, we should have regular events that will cast our minds back to this incident and let people know and feel our humanity, because nobody knows when they will leave this world. So if you are occupying the seat as a government minister or as a CEO or anywhere, you should know that your duty is to impact your country. You are there for your country. It is not for yourself.
I think the announcement by President today is in order, and we have to thank the President and his team for coming out with such initiative. We think that our fallen heroes have died on the job, and it is in order for President to put in measures that will take care of his dependents. So we are grateful to government for this initiative.
In the true Ghanaian spirit, compassion wrapped around the bereaved families through prayers, tribute, and words of comfort that sought to ease the weight of sorrow. The military funeral service carried the dignity of state traditions, enriched with cultural displays, traditional dirges, and a shared pledge to carry the nation forward. They will be remembered not only for the duties they performed, but for the lives they lived, devoted to family, steadfast in faith, and passionate in their calling to serve. And one phrase, uttered by young and old alike, seemed to hold the weight of the nation's grief and determination. Never again.
Never again shall we ever experience any tragedy of such magnitude in our country. Father, never again shall we ever experience any tragedy of such magnitude in our country. We seal this prayer with the precious blood of Jesus.